Hi guys, this is Lisa. I thought today I would show you a few of my layouts. I haven't been doing videos. Like I said before, I just haven't had the time. And I'm hoping maybe on my next day off, I know I have videos on my camcorder and I just need to upload them. And it takes so much time to do that and do the voiceover. So maybe I'm going to try to start getting into them again. But so I thought what I do is do a little layout share. This is full of cat hair because that cat was just up here. If I say her name, she'll be up here. This is a layout I'm working on right now. I'm trying to get things done from last year because here we're coming around to the new year and I still have all this stuff from last year. This is what I'm just working on right now. If anyone who follows me and knows I'm a Syracuse, that's in New York. It's like a couple hours away from here, and we have a really good basketball team, and my whole family, even my 83-year-old aunt gets involved, and my dad who's 80, and we get together for all the games, and when we try to get together for all of them, and this particular one was a big matchup against Duke, and actually, we all had Duke shirts. There's like, I think 12 of them total we bought, and we all had beat Duke shirts. This was before they were delivered. Someone was bringing them, and then we even had one for my aunt. I'm not done with this. I need something else. I just don't know what. But I thought I would show you a few things. I won't go through. In my last video, I said that my goal was to get down with my Project Life 2013. I didn't even do 2014. I might start 2014, but I'm not gonna feel like pressured like I have to get it done, but I won't actually. Let me see how this light's not great. I'm hoping to get a light fixture put up. Actually, my dad's gonna come over later and look at it because my husband left when we built my room a few months ago. He left me a cord or whatever out of the wall so I could put a light fixture. Well, my husband, being the handyman that he is, forgot to connect the wire to any light switch. So there's no way to turn it on and off. So he told me find a light with a pull string, like one of those little, little old-fashioned pull string lights. Well, you're very limited what you can get for that. That's not gonna work. But my dad thinks I can do something with a box and blah blah blah. So my dad's coming over to tell me what we can do, and then he will come over and help my husband do it, because my husband's definitely not handy like my dad is, but he tries, and my dad doesn't mind helping him, and my husband doesn't mind my dad helping him. He doesn't get offended, and he loves my dad. So this is just what I kind of did for the last of my Project Life. I did events more than weeks, and then I did like a month in review. Like on this little page was when my niece came home for the first time. She hadn't been up, by herself. She came up and I was just laughing about, she had so many clothes all over. And I kept it pretty simple. I did the 4x6 photo to fill the whole space. And anyways, that weekend, my oldest daughter and her are very close. And they went four-wheeling together that day while I was working, and they went mudding. In fact, they were in the middle of cutting up all the veggies for the pasta salad I was making for the barbecue that night. And I got home from work and I look, and all this stuff is just sitting on the table covered with like paper towels, and they were gone. And my husband's like, they've been gone for an hour or more. And after a while, my husband kind of got worried. We have like 60 acres of land. And so he went looking for them because they were on the four-wheeler, and they found mud. I think she's 20, she's 23, she's 22 then. She's 22, she's 23 now. And my daughter's 13. And they were just going and just going through the mud over and over again. And then we took bales of hay that night and put them around the fire, which probably doesn't sound safe, but it really was. And we just had a fire, and we had a bunch of people over, and we had so much fun. And as you know, I'm very much a country hunter. You know, I don't hunt, but our life is very country, and we like the camo, the pink camo, and we just had all these. Luke Bryan, we're a big fan of, and all these camo. I just took a picture of all the cups and koozies we had in the fire. And a friend of ours brought homemade apple pie moonshine. You know, we have some drinks. It's not like a huge party. You know, no one gets crazy. You know, it's all good fun. Kids are running around playing. No one's getting crazy. And then just the different snacks I had. And these pictures are very hard, but I kept this very simple. I put a photo in and put a little tag in. And I think most of it's self-explanatory for my family. I don't need to explain my life to you and everyone, otherwise this video will never get done. This one was just, this I did a particular week. We went picking my dad up to go to my daughter's soccer game. I hope you guys can see this. I know there's a glare. And this one's just about my daughter's nightstand. Sometimes I come home at night or I go in her room and she eats her idea of a snack. I think this was like hamburger or like a taco mix that she eats. Her idea of a snack could be a pizza, you know. Last night I came home, she had this huge bowl. It's like a mixing bowl of Count Chocula cereal. She's a toothpick, and she is very small for her age, and part of me like wants her to eat in moderation, but then this other part of me is like, do it now when you're young, because I used to be that skinny too. Do it now when you're young. I mean, she'll eat healthy, and she's a meat eater. And if anyone's, maybe I think I showed a layout I did where it's just something about how much she loves meat. And then I just did this about how she was doing homework on a weekend, because that's just how she is. And this was just dinner at home with a little lantern. Like I said, we're kind of country folks here. My husband and I had some wine, and the girls were gone, and just a crafty project. But I kind of just did this, and this will be, I think, September. And what I'm doing is I'm doing them in any size that I feel, you know, I have the right photos for. This one I did, it was a retreat that I go to every October that's only like 7 miles away from my home. And I've been going for like 7 to 8 years. And at the time I did not realize this was my last retreat, because like months after this one she decided she wasn't going to do the next one. So I went this weekend with my daughter and my sister, and we had so much fun. And I wrote an email to my boss that I was leaving work early because, which I probably shouldn't give my boss's email address. I was leaving early because it's happy. I wrote, I was going, just letting you know I'm leaving an hour early today. Thought I might want to tell you, because sometimes I forget because I'm so used to doing my own thing. Today is my happy day, the best day of the year. It's my scrapbooking weekend. 3 days of scrapping, scrapbook shopping, massages, food, and naps. And my boss just wrote back, laughing out loud, have fun. And so there's always something on our door. And I mean, we're in a small area, and she had like almost 80 people coming. And I think it just got too much for her. And just like little things, we did a midnight run to McDonald's, my daughter and I, these little Smarties, which are Canadian. We have a lot of Canadians. We're very close to the Canadian border. We're only like 7 miles from the Canadian border. And where I work, you can like see the bridge from almost where I work. Someone brought these little Smarties, these Canadian little candies, and they were a little joke with my sister, because my sister thinks my daughter and I are nothing but Smarty pants. And we were picking on my sister. So anyways, I did a whole thing about that, because that was something, I should leave these in order. And then I did a whole page about, my husband has to go away for meetings a lot. I think I just said in the last video maybe, or I don't know. Yeah, he was in New York City last week. So, in this particular week, he was in a place called Lake Placid, where the Olympics were held in New York years and years ago. And so it's only a few hours away, so I was able to go up and stay the night. And it's just always so nice to get away. And it was just different things we did, the view from the hotel. And I actually used some of these cards in here, and I like that because it helps with the spacing. Oh, my husband being naughty. Then this was the weekend my niece came up again, and it was just us playing cards and drink. Actually, no, I think it might have been that same weekend because it looks like we're drinking up the apple moonshine, and she brought me that cup. So I think it's the same weekend, but as you can see, I'm pretty plain. I think I said this before, like when my, this goes in here somewhere. This goes here, but I don't know why I don't know. When my niece came up after that weekend, she just had such a good time, and she's a nurse actually. She's a young nurse. We did Sunday. We go to a place to watch football on Sunday with my dad, who's 80. So we just had a really nice time. And when we came home that day, she had written a note. She left, and we were all at work or whatever in school, and she wrote a note to each of us, to me, to each of my girls, and laid them on our beds. And it was just so sweet, and I took a picture of all of them, and of course I still have it. And I'll read mine because it's so sweet. Aunt Lisa, this is the only paper I could find, but I just want to say thank you, not only for this weekend, but for everything. I love you so much. Thank you for not judging me, but helping guide me instead. I'm going to get going and head home. Hope you had a good day at work. I love you always. Love your little girl, Katrina. And she was my little girl. She just always, I don't know, she was the youngest of my sisters, so her and I just were very, very close. And I was older. My sister's a lot older than me, so I was probably like 20 when she was born, so I was very close to her. So here, just showing my husband gutting a deer, which is probably gross to some people. And my husband painted my girls their doors with chalkboard. And I actually took a chalkboard pen right here and wrote on my daughters. So this part is not part of her chalkboard. It's, I just wrote with a chalkboard pen. And I go every so often and take pictures of what my girls have on their thing. Especially my 13-year-old, she really likes to organize. So again, so if you notice, I do a lot of 4x6s. I'm pretty plain. I just do a few tags, and I was cutting, I don't know, it's very plain. But what I did here, okay, so that was like September and October. That was like October. So what I did here is I kind of summarized, like my nephew was born, it was my dad's birthday, and then just some everyday things. I don't have anything here. My daughter had a sleepover. Our construction started downstairs. Doing a crafty day, just summarizing my November. And then I went into my December, which I was getting close. If you see the quality of my photos, like, they're awful. And that's why I do a lot of black and white. It's because I had that iPhone, and as I've said before, I switched out my iPhone for a Samsung Galaxy Zoom, and it takes phenomenal photos and prints phenomenal. And I'll be so glad when I'm finally done with all these photos that have that orangey tint to them. It's so hard to get a good photo. So then I did December, and then this is it. So I kind of like, I just kept it summarized and done, and I feel like I got the stories in there that I wanted, so I feel good about it. I think, like in the very beginning, I spent a lot more time on each page and journaled a little bit more, but I really just wanted to get it done, and just, try to keep up with it and try to get ready so I can do 2015, which is my goal. Let me see how much time I have left. I have like 10 minutes because my phone only does 15 minutes at a time, or 25 minutes at a time. So I might have to do this in 2 sessions. So this is probably my latest page I did. I did this, I might have showed this. I might have showed this already, but if I did, I apologize. I just did lots and lots of layering, and I used really all my scraps and a few things. It's my girls on their first day of school. Let me see if I can, the lighting. I adjust my light. I love this paper. First time I saw this, I fell in love. I have this in 8.5 by 11, and I have like 4 or 5 of them, and I just love them. So this is just a bunch of layering with really just scraps and a few things from one of my Scraptastic kits. I like that page. It came out pretty darn good, I think. And I don't like many. This I did, and then I don't like it. I liked it up until I did these, and now I don't like it. It's just me in the freezer going climbing. Let's see. Climbing up in a freezer to get my daughter a certain kind of pizza that she likes. And this little tag came in the Boys of Summer kit from Scraptastic, and it said Man on a Mission. And I'd used the bottom part of it, and I saved this, and it worked out perfect because I just did the WO for Woman on a Mission, trying to get that. And I used, believe it or not, as much as I thought I did not like that Boys of Summer, I was so disappointed with the choices, and then I just did the Boys of Summer because I thought I liked that color palette better. I've used that kit more than I ever thought I would, and I actually, you know, I was wrong. So I just used a couple of the stickers. Wild and Crazy, that's me, that's what they say. And Unique, that's for sure. And I just had this little piece of paper that I thought went good because of the blue, and I just cut it in strips, and I liked it up until I did this, and then I went, no, I don't like it anymore. But there's that one. And then what I just had in my Project Life with my daughter that day we had that fire, there was my daughter taking some hay out. She was moving it. I used a sticker that I got. I showed that in one of my hauls, and it worked good for like a border all the way across. And I tried to just use stuff up. Like I had these little feathers that I got, I think in a Studio Calico kit a while ago. And I used some of that stuff from the wood grain collection, the hearts and the paper underneath. I just been trying to use some of the stuff up that's in front of me. So like I said, when I was telling people that when I do one on one page, I always try to do the other. This I did. It's my daughter's snowman she built one day. She was home alone. She went outside by herself and built a snowman, which is shocking because she's a teenager, doesn't like to go outside so much anymore, especially alone, unless someone's out there, or the four-wheeler, she'll go on the four-wheeler. So I thought, well, it's kind of big print, big paper, but I'm like, I can make it work for just a paper or just a page about a snowman. So this will be in my daughter's album, so, you know, it was easy for me to use both sides. The only thing I had to worry about was the brad, and I just cut the brad little things off and just glued it down instead. I do a lot of 8.5 by 11, and all I do is add them in my album for the year. When I say this goes in my daughter's album, it really is going in my 2013 album. And I just put everything right in order from month to month, and then eventually someday I'll separate them and put them in my girls' album. But right now I'll just do that until I'm ready to separate them. And so what I do is, if this will be in my album like this, and then the next page can be a 12 by 12. I have page protectors for all of them, so I just keep going just like this. And so sometimes I have a photo and I don't have an idea, like I don't know, I don't need a full 12 by 12, so I just, you know, sometimes it's easier for me to do a 8.5 by 11. And I always say that to someone who's starting out. If they stare at this big 12 by 12 and they don't know what to do, go ahead and just start with 8.5 by 11. I tell my daughter to do that all the time. It's so much easier. So this is what I did on my nephew. I got a lot done when I went to this last retreat. Almost all these are from this last retreat I did. Lots of layering. I start to feel like my pages all look alike. I don't know. You ever do that? I think especially if you scrap all together like one weekend and you do 20-some pages, they seem to, I don't know. I've been using stuff in my kits. In fact, when I went to this retreat, I only brought my kits with me and a few other papers. When I go to a retreat, I try to match all my photos up. Like I have this all laid. I want this with this, this with this, this with this paper. I do that all before I go, so when I get there, I'm not spending my time like searching through. I can actually get busy and get to work. This is my daughter, about being 13. Lots of layering. I think that was from the Scraptastic kit. This is about how we go over and have breakfast with my dad a lot. That's my nephew. He was cooking the eggs that day, and of course my dad had to be right there to lecture, and my daughter was just sitting there laughing at him. And it's just funny to listen to them all, because my nephew, my brother, and my dad, they all think they know best, and we have breakfast together, and they're always going at it like, no, do this. Well, I would do this, and they're just fun to watch. I just sit back and watch. I stick my nose right out of it and let them cook for me. I like it. And they do a lot, both my brother and my and my dad. I love this paper. When I saw this paper, it's like one of my favorites. Love it. This is like a little doily. Those cute little wood veneers. I do love those. I'd like more of those. And they stamp nicely. You can stamp on those. And I love the little cork hearts. I like that one. I like my dad. I did this one. I only have like 3 minutes left, so I'm gonna. This one when I got this from the Scraptastic kit, I had no idea what in the world I'm gonna do with the city, which is funny now because that was way before my husband went to New York City, so I could have used that. And we don't even have a city. The closest city is like Syracuse, 2.5 hours away, and that's not even like a big city. But I had taken this photo and I used that app, that Rona something app. And I was sitting on the swing underneath the apple tree and just relaxing. My kids are playing in the background. My husband's out mowing. It was just like picture perfect. It was just like life is so good. And I took a picture of let's see if you can see, it's just me and my swing with my blanket. And I put, with that app, I wrote, it's the little things. So somehow I thought, well, why don't I do this about how I used to live down near Syracuse in the city, in which my journaling is very hard to read, and just how I knew, like, when I lived down there, it wasn't meant for me. Traffic and waiting in line at lights and people, and like, it's just not meant for me. And then I eventually moved my way back home, where there's nothing up here but mostly Amish. I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of Amish here. They're my neighbors on my road, and I've said that before in a video, but it's like, we don't have a traffic light in our town. Most of the little towns don't. It's just laid back. You never have to wait at a light, long, or it's totally so laid back, so different. And so I was just writing about how, I've lived in a city, near a city before. It's not for me, and how this is the kind of life. I just, I love that. Like the other night, I needed some flour, and my closest neighbors like crossed the field, and my 13-year-old ran over and borrowed flour, or if they need something, they'll come over. Or she wanted to use my computer last week because hers was down, and she knocked on the door. Hey, can I use your computer? It's that, like, what it used to be. There's still a little bit of the old, where it was safe to do stuff like that, and that's just the life I enjoy. But I'm going to stop right here because I yak way too much. And so I'm going to upload this video because I can only, like I said, I can only record for 25 minutes. And I'm going to upload this. And I will come back later with another share. I probably should get busy and do some cleaning before I go to work. But thanks, guys. I hope you like. And I hope I didn't bore you too much. You know me, I talk more about the story in my photo than I actually do what I use for the scrapbooking. But if you ever have any questions about what I use or any technique or anything I did, feel free to ask me, and I will get on here and try to answer you. Alrighty, thank you so much. Have a great day.